Yeah, I'm going to. How can you know you go lawyer pushkin regular?
So no need to mention, just trying to establish the right motivation.
Should not, I should you say, man, though they are the yellow pampa, they check the time, lodge your test, then you can look the out and then know what it.
So the motivation that we should generate should be Bodhicitta mind, so which is to and aspirations to achieve enlightenment, to benefit all sentient beings. So therefore to cultivate a thought that is the teaching that we receive. So is to extend benefit to all beings and fulfill the wishes of all sentient beings.
That's something. That's the meaning of the quality on the lecture. Jella the Pemba, the Ye Pemba niggas, they are negative on the Lolo. They caught the Washer do it. Got their mother, Jella Pemba, the Jella Pemba, they say, tea, quad on the lane with you. Lord, the other fish was it anywhere. She can ledger, Meleger. Carrying a manner, Pemba the day said, and murder, Mokan get long trading is new. What is Chetajer? Then Pemba the day, Jean Samba Mago, on the Eastern, then under the yellow Pemba, the other dread home. Yala, Pemba day sat on the gelatin, Devango, do not dare, thinking on the shard chicken do. The champagne Lord Comato. Nola Maki sent Taco, Tindi is a son of Tindizona, Yala Pemba, the Ashina, Lord Kaja, Conan, on the shard on Yala Pembi Shard, Nevi Shard, Keto Marwa, Kel Marwa. Yala Pembi Shard. Pembe Shah, Dei Shah, Shetonga Kuza, Yenta, Kaza, Ro, Kaza, Shebo, Yel Kaza, de Atesant. The ring on the son do not upon the Wadi. She lodges on other Jella Pemba Dei Chedi, son of Tendizona, upon the one in a saying, using on the circle and get you attached tag, Gitabashi. Selling Gicho Martin, the Panda and the Felmachi, she did read Nola Kimatovache, then Jima, Tiga, Soso Ajo Nola Mayumi Tonity, Yella Ale, Nola Ramalina, the Gamu, and the wound they are taking on the other of
So I have said that in our motivation for listening to teachings or for undertaking any activities, so we should try to include a thought of extending benefit and happiness to other beings, and so as far as the value, the qualities, excellent qualities or admirable qualities of these thought goals, it is something that we all understand it very well. We even if whether you are a believer or a non-believer of a spiritual, teachings, we all know. Everybody knows that how, someone how as the thought of such this thought of benefiting others, of causing, giving happiness to others. So it's something very marvelous thought, something wonderful thoughts, and so therefore at the same time we should also try to understand that how when we cultivate this thought within ourselves, then it will bring a tremendous peace and happiness within ourselves, and likewise that you at the same time you become a cause of peace and happiness for other people, other beings, and so therefore there is there is no now the question is, when we ask, despite all this, that is, when we see it is our common sense which really tells, which clearly shows that this is a wonderful thought, to something to have within ourselves. Also, if someone else have that thought, it is something we will be admiring that person's. But however, despite all this, but when we look into within ourselves, we look in our mind, and then if we ask, do we, do I have this thought as a mental attitude, as a intentions of whatever activity, whatever action that we do in our life, and then probably for most of us that then we do not have that thought. So rather, unfortunately, we may have the thought which is quite opposite to that. That is to thinking of always directed to trouble, cause harm to others, or to hurt others, and so there's not we're not thinking of benefiting other, or to do favor for other beings. So therefore we have to as we follow the spiritual practice, so we really have to understand that the key of the spiritual practice is really to bring about some really certain changes within our mind, in our mental attitudes, the changes which the kind of positive and very wholesome mental attitude that we have to bring about. So therefore, in that level, so on that whatever even this practice we do, if it has no any effect of really making change to, or making has any influence on our mind, then we are not applying. We're not applying our practice properly as well.
Son tel tono 가르잖아 옌베지 somebody ngene sozo pa pepe shivo zonke lore yara shiresh sozo pa pepe semba hele seba shibo zonke shiresh sozo pa pepe semba hele seba shibo yeba di to jiga jel penso chimo shivoji yongone manzo jel penso je jala tni chi ala mani zona tni chi penso manzo loyi sha re mundu da Ngenarama, Saja, there's a touching Shivachi, Reshan. Saba, the Gitabaja, Saba, Genere. Leva Hajo Panja Chimbo, yes, they Leva Tonana, Genere, Jella, Pimping somebody opposite, Saba, the Levatin, Shade Abushi, you son. Not yet, we are. So I'm not dead. Something to three, she said, that's a legal part, engaging your lesson, that's it. You know how to send your conjure, get this yard. Each of them, major. So say, there are yapos here, listening at there are yapos here, take a tajela petum. Get this. Wrong listening said there are yapos man, Jella pencils, your collie comes generation. Mother son tet on the other tongue, other Geles and that Geles et, Southern Gale another. There are yajis in road, Massay Yachin Rover, Massay Sheridan Rover. Not the tell you other, how much is I know there is a machine.
So indeed, the main really reason or the purpose of following meditation or following spiritualities, so is also really to bring about such the positive changes from within ourselves, or in another word, on the mental level. So now when we think of as a whole, then we all have some sort of like there's a responsibility we have to take. So there are even though there are certain things that which some other people, other being can do for you, can fulfill that for you. But however, there are a lot. But at the same time, there are also a great deal of responsibility, which really falls upon oneself. And then our responsibility is to relating to what we really want in our life, what we really seek in our life. So that is we seek happiness and trying to wanting to avoid sufferings. So therefore our responsibilities should be something related to how to achieve happiness, and it has to be related to how to overcoming problems, overcoming difficulties. So therefore even though on the one hand we do in our as part of our spiritual training, we do talk about benefiting all sentient beings, but however how can we benefit all other sentient beings when we cannot really take care of ourselves very well, such as our own like a physical and the mental well-being, so mental health. So therefore really when we talk about this, this as self-responsibility, so we're talking about this something related how we can best look after our own happiness, or the health of our mind and our body. So this, from this point of view, so we say that we say that what is the when we talk about this, one of the most important things that matter, that very important factor for our well-being is also is something related to our mind, our mental, what kind of state of mind that we generally arise within us. So therefore, what I was saying before is that how if we within our mind, if we cultivate like such a mind, like a altruism, like all this such a mind which of like a loving kindness or a good heart, and when we cultivate that kind of state of mind, then this would then would the naturally brings happiness for oneself, and really with that mind, then we can also it is also the remedy to a lot of the problems that we experience, difficulties that we experience, which are directly related to our mind, our way of our way of thinking. So a lot of this can be just simply overcome, simply prevented if we are able, if we focus, if we make effort to and be able to cultivate certain this such positive state of mind within ourselves. So therefore, when we when we enjoy a reasonable amount of peace, happiness in our life, in terms of enjoying good health, and also happiness in terms of in our mind, then there we are in good positions to benefit others, So therefore, the really what I'm saying here is that how we should not think, or in a sense it is really wrong to think that which we normally do, that when we talk about benefiting others, helping others, we only think in terms of the material value, such as handing out money to others, and that's all it comes to our mind when we think of making difference to the world, benefiting others. But in fact, there's a if we more than material benefit, we can benefit other by cultivating and by developing this such a positive state of mind, such as a good heart and a loving kindness within ourselves. So as we said before, how when we have that, when we cultivate such this the good heart within ourselves, then naturally, then everything, our action which we create, which we do in our everyday life, then naturally they would have become a beneficial to other as well.
다 선택도네 아버지가 내가 사전 퇴전에 되는 게 대사 깨버리는 거 대랑에는 신입에서는 것도 뭐 배도 이러시니까 그러 이시 집아지 되는 정도와 뭐 그런 게는 소재진 거는 걸어 펜도 전에 갈래 전에 선바 지시돈 치듯이에요. tanki bu shiva jireshan, ngene reshan. Ta yomba yonke delo, yonke leva delo, ta se kanga te yeda, ta sebi ga ta ngene nipaje mateba kali kanga di was. 사실 투지 맹게가 때 리완 내가 갈가 레지 강한 콜이야. 사제만도 제정만 대상만도 아 르바시보는 내가 반정한게 르바들 다 가래와래. 그 누가 가래와. 그 생 누가죠. 생 때는 참 만져 봐지. 되는지야. 그래서 이거라도 사지 맹게가 르바 좀 받대가 중화도 릭 중화 용도 다 사진도 야보 영계가 내가 싶어들라 사진도 매일 얘기 중화도 문제 생길 중화 빠지면 봐서 그래 내가 한도 미스 통도 와 이자 가서는 들리도나 야본 대화 대 이장에 다다 시 써져 가 전배 선방 가서 거서나 내가 내 땜바 야보 싶지 용거들 얘는 용거들 얘가도 내가 제야 얘도 채비 돼야 돼 Yedo Echen Trebi Deachi Resha, you get in by your money. Something to do the majority stand. To Kaja, not Kaja child, you Kaja second to New York. You know? Long map and dog this. Get you somebody to buy a game about long, then much of a channel. That young and they are saying, Pa, you don't trade with the Ashi. Yeah, you want the one training other than I say, you know what, getting about Madua. Zure, Daniel was Yamadu. That Rejan Jumbo there, Reja the day, you do Rejan tape with the other day, getting about Madua to the other. That's the literation. No somebody zomboze. Yeah. Ngene jembe sombazo. How about Shamba Ninja gone pop people should some get it. That tell some dona, and telling it as a then Roman words, and then machine money. Oh, my story going, no. My life story, my life that all my life all get up, all doing parties. Meditate all parties. Nothing is relative, nothing is that's just my is the I there, my story. Our story, actually, Anju the way of marriage.
So perhaps a lot of things that you hear over and over again, you probably really hearing the same thing because they some way they reflect how I live my life and what I how I view of my view of the life. So so now we were talking about now like how to benefiting other sentient beings. So now of course if we talk about benefiting those beings who are who live in a very third world or very poor countries. So where people suffers, like poverties, and there's people really there's in everyday life, they struggle to find food, and they have no shelter, house, place to live, or to enough clothes and food and drinks, it's like a starvation and all that. So there is of course there is all this kind of the miseries and suffering that exists, but normally this exists in the very undeveloped or poor countries. So now when you think of how if you look into the Christians teachings and how some of their followers how they dedicate their life to relieve such the misery and suffering of people in such third worlds, this is something quite unbelievable, and how they are so practical, and how that is what they do is actually makes a huge difference to the life of those suffering peoples. So then, on the other hand, when we talk about in a very developed or very affluent societies, and then where really there is people do not suffer this kind of do not have this kind of problems of not related to to lack of food, clothes, or shelter, and all is that. So therefore, if we think of this in a developed country, the problem that we the everyday that people face, and it become a great challenges. So it is all, we can see that it is all related to their mind, related to their emotions, and so therefore, if in order to remedy these problems, so reduce these problems. So so in these developed countries, so we do have to talk about, and then people have to make effort to changing their mind, and through this, so therefore, what I'm saying here is, so therefore what we need to change to reduce the problem here. So or the best solution is to cultivating a loving kindness, cultivating good heart, and that can really can serve as a very like a lasting and rather a very reliable source of happiness, and bringing happiness and joy in such in the developed countries. So therefore the if when how instead of the relying on or finding able to achieve the happiness that is which result from within oneself, from one's own, such as cultivating a positive state of mind, such as a love and the compassions. So if we see our happiness as something only on a material level, or on a external object level, such as in a sensual object, of such as we regard as something a beautiful forms, or a very pleasant sound, or something or something to touch, physical, tactile. So if this is all we're relying on, then just we do understand then the kind of happiness that we experience, we find in life, if we look into that whole the substance of that happiness. So it is simply, the happiness is only just a mere a contact of our subjective mind with a certain objects.
So
whether it's a
that happiness.
No.
Happy day, no. First day, happy. Second day, no. All day. Loving kindness here all day. Oh, money, you happy. This is absolutely happy. You go pound or see in the eye, see, maybe you're happy that day. Second, gone, not happy. All day. Really, that's it. Just under that, what?
No. So simply then the kind of the pleasure that we experience. No. Which is then depends, or
I see
the
one see they together. Eyes,
yeah.
Nice signs. See, they're happy. No, second nothing. Eyes nothing. 그래 다는 지금 그래 다 이나영 안도는 로가르지 내가 세트는 로가르 나.
So it's subject to our mind, contact, sort of like the contingent upon contact with a particular objects. So therefore the there are some people who experience that suddenly they feel empty, they feel very unhappy. So because the objects that brings the about that the pleasant experience, pleasant feeling is no more there.
다 선생자 대지 강한 자 연배 선바 야보시는 자 야분데야 대세가 얘네래 이런 아주 선도들아 완전 예비 류비 되는데 책 등하다 간대자 용어 선도나 새 만대 온거 용어야 가르제 강가 퍼스 봐서 다 다른 거야 puss wasn't dead. In car, Jenna, puss wasn't dead. Draw said, can't go on that time, and as you do. Never jetted in the water. And that, so no tender, there's a peg yard. Penagella, Jella Trado Shene, children, Yemi Hamawa, Yama, the Jella Trado Shell, Mother Dasen. Jella, Cosson to what? Trado yet with Nega, Trado met with Nega, the color of Sono Chitore, Trado met with Nega, called let hang dead again. Trado de Allegre, the name Roll Medallion Dengas, Coron watching tell the name called Yapochi Yard. The name on the one trail young mother. Tedu Tejer, Diana. Yet the lamb had Tandas didn't set some dead to the real. Tedas, the Panja Chevi Luvano, the Takanga Tande Luvano, Sag Duma Tenisa, young we are. Yella and Dessa Chegova, Yella Trotu Chegova, Yella Chese Chegova, Yella Maja Chegova, the new daughter. Tashabakawa. Sell color, no sell. Then you go there. She bought some do us and Tindred. I saw Tetuna. Get I by some Tetuna. I put it. I thought.
So in the as we are saying, how in developed countries, so as the just as the growth of the materials, various materials objects is very very fast. So and along with that, so our mind is also always looking for something something better, something or more of those things, and so therefore the
like friend perfect, money perfect, empty perfect. Only thing I like perfect, empty. I like higher. I higher. That is anything you perfect. I need perfect friend. Anything I take perfect you did. Then other people will look at you, Lord, sign you there. What are mind coming? Same size. What are mind coming? Higher that you see. What are I coming? Here. You higher saying jealous coming here. No happy. Lord, you will see the matter there and it's frustrated coming. No happy here. No? That is it. The link is that's on the thing that can God and other thing. The little other Lomba Jumbo the leg, called the Chandina Shusunas. Think any other. 다 배라던 용어야 되는 거지. 근데 다 잔지 바시는서 다 만디 비용하셔야죠. 그런 애는 사실 수지지래 제 대고 자제서도 너는 문자게 절래 뒷강아 돼야 뒷강아 봐서 뭐들 행동돼서 단지서 서서 싶으시 용어돼서 다 때제 만져야지 진짜로 생길 때제 뭐야 체체롱돼서 나한테 배바지 다 배바 싫어요 말 나누지 배바 되지 별 대den게 되대 당 알아지 뉴뉴아래 이제 들리지요 아선다 단다 시험을 되네 단 되게 가르쳐는 아도 내가 아도 semba 좀보도 이렇게 좀 싫어하는 때세 센득 semba 좀보도 이나 semba 좀보도 다 되지 냐면 들리 온도 맞도는 되는 semba 좀보 예배 semba 좀보도 내가 이제라 팬비 좀보요는 이제라 팬비 좀보도 맞도 차도 요거 뭐는 맞아 요거 뭐든 대선 요거 뭐든 저번에 계속 엄마를 시행받아 아 대지처럼 내가 열려 때서나 야부 뭐세시 보이는 거 대세고 단다스냐
So for somehow in developed countries, so along with the material development, so our mind also we also like kind of expect more, and we expect things to be even like I said before, more everything to be very perfect, and so therefore when we look at that, so it's how the if you do, there's people lack the control of their own mind, and particularly control of their own desires, and so therefore there is the when we have this inwardly, so when we if our mind is not controlled, then see how easily then you spoil your own happiness. So the moment you see someone who's got more wealth or who's on higher positions, and then you suddenly you feel jealous, and then how we all know if feeling of jealous is it something brings you joy or not. So again, when people lack the knowledge of or the awareness that actually it's to having holding jealousy is actually not something beneficial, but rather is very harmful for oneself, or it destroys one's peace, one's happiness. So rather it is something that one must get rid of. So when we don't understand that, then we simply get jealousy and then one think of overcoming it. So however, if we know the difference between that if, when we have a jealous thought, then there's a pain in our mind. But when we get rid of that, having mind without jealous, then it is like a great relief, and it's a peace and allowed peace and happiness. So likewise, how people can how they easily, when they see someone who is also as good as oneself, then you easily you wanted to compete with them. You want to be better than those people, and likewise, people also with the lack of control of your own thought, your own emotion, then how easily you fill your mind with pride. And then with that pride, then you will, without even knowing, you will be next thing. Will you be, putting other people down, or you'll be criticizing others, and so forth. Therefore, just imagine that how what we are saying is how if our mind is filled with all these what we call as mental afflictions, such as this competitiveness, jealousies, pride, and so forth, then will there be a happiness? Will there be peace in one life? Of course, there won't be peace. No matter how rich, how materially one is well off. So therefore, however, when we look into take into account of certain in a third world country, like in poor countries, so where again the people's even though they are their living conditions very poor, and they in every day they struggle for finding just a very survival, for surviving their lives, just like a food, clothes, and drinking. But at the same time, so therefore in that country where people's expectation is probably lower than us, so therefore somehow when in those countries, when whenever people find that some sort of food that that they can feed the family, and that gives a great sense of the satisfaction and contentment, and they can really they enjoy that the enjoying those whatever they have found.
That is something as something other, Jella, Pemba, they somebody another, their parent, low Mara, Momos, a call, Gangado, Niambon Rashi, you talk, there's a there, the paper, the water, not this, what is it? So no, some test, then my ever change the abundant, not take a time, you're laying in this in the desert, and the children, then you're let it down. You let that, I don't know. Geshe nga says, then so yaris, Tabala Cheshuni yaris, Taba Cheshu Sasa, Taba Chini, then Sasa, Yard, Sin Dagara, Yala Petova, the Yell never quite the rest, no? Sura Tonji that in the game, she thought they chose a code there. Then they rest, then they ching what never, then it's ever good. Zebaman, sin never shares fan nelation. Fan nelation, Jella Pentu, Marisa, the name Masha Young, Unity, the Nit understand, Geshenga, Tavache Chinis and Amadu, or then a sauce and Amadu, the chin in the rest. Yella Petu, but Yell never company than the one rest, soon go. Don't want the lawyer Tamade. There the lawyer tending on the song of Alan Shivaji found. Geshe nga said, Zagazma, show you saying what the Bashuchi, resident. Kitten is young, the ass of the nice. Then assassin, Taiwanese enamed, to the dinner, Jella Petova, never company, said, Tin da res, and you are. Ganare, some of the son to the son to chamber the pet, son of Tingle Chin Nana, so but Papa shouldn't.
So to summarize, what we have been talking, before. So it's really just to say that our practice, our main practice, so is to cultivate love and compassion, and cultivate a good heart, loving kindness, within ourselves. So this is our main spiritual or the Dharma practice. And so in relating to this, so like you might have heard this in the past. There's also the advice from the famous Kadamba Geshe Chengawas, who said that even though there are the teachings, the volume of teaching is so great that we can talk in terms of the three baskets of teachings, or in terms of the vehicle, or then there are two vehicles, but all these teachings then really comes down to this the practice of extending benefit to others, and avoiding harm to others. So therefore it's really very effective, even we as someone who following this spiritual practice, or following the dharmas. So just think of how this line, this instruction is come from this famous Kadamba Geshe Chengawa, who truly is a bodhisattvas, and so something his bodhisattva has said that, and so just trying to no. So now. So rather, instead of his being a bodhisattva, so he's someone who is proficient in the cultivation, excelled himself in the practice, or in the cultivation of bodhicitta mind, and so this is something, instruction which comes from this great practitioners, and so therefore with this in mind, so if we trying to, as much as possible, to trying to take this advice of cultivating the beneficial mental attitude, and avoiding overcoming this harmful thought towards other as the very key practice in our day-to-day life.
Reda, cinque never, Zeva Gores, Zeva meant Sinelli, partnership Gores, then Nelly, Pema Young Mare, then Zeva Gores, cinque never, Tam, and Zeva eat.
And then then as to be able to follow on the on the spiritual practice, in putting all this advice into practice, then what is necessary, what is very essential is the practice is developing patience, because if you have a patience, then we will be able to make a consistent progress. Otherwise, with the lack of the patience, then we would easily lost. Then we will be easily, if we receive any harm from others, then we will easily retaliate them also.
Never do by your man, never
No. So if you continually retaliating, whenever we receive a harm, then we will never be able to avoid or prevent the harmful actions towards others.
Ne tomba hos la dunga toles da ketanga da dunga toles ngada ketchum boshara dunga toles dungi sematu dunga le gare ye madya maja ba sematu ze ketchum boshara zaba seja dunga do ne jala ye matu bi ga seju shin ba yaza dunga le gare la kol tole ma de je ngada dungi chi ye ana se ren do ngada ngene 다 되는 게 있어서 영화 돌아야나 영화 유명 뒤에라 내가 센터에서 영화 연구 말했어요. 다 되게 들어서 있어. 다 되나서 되게 이제 되나 영화 돌아야지 셰바 셰바제다 셰바 셰바 내 돈바고 되니잖아. 다 영화 돌아야지 셰바제다 셰바 아주 내 전부 쉬어지는 벼서 Dunga Tola and Dunga Nego Yamata Santo, that's Tatella Nichita, Nivala Nichita.
So last week we stopped at this line, the last line of this the paragraph, which says, therefore, it is very crucial that you generate the patient that accept sufferings. So the so in here, so we have to have some idea of what is the practice of the patient of accepting means. So it means patient accepting means that to be able to to tolerate the any harm or any any harm that you receive from others, and so that the harm that you receive, that any adversary situation that you confront, so it really doesn't doesn't disturb your mind. So therefore, we can see, and also in the we also learned that how the patient of the acceptance of suffering is also very important, because without that, if we lack this application of these patients, then we would be adding more suffering to what the suffering, the difficulty that we we actually face, like such as certain unfavorable, certain the unwanted situation you're facing, which cause suffering, which cause harm upon you. So on top of that, so your inability to tolerate that, then it would also then then add more sufferings, because that can kind of disturb and troubles your mind, and so therefore we understand here how important is this the developing this passion of acceptance of sufferings. And then the text goes on. Then the next section, which is the way to develop acceptance. So the way to develop acceptance has two parts. Rejecting the idea that when suffering occurs, it is absolutely unpleasant.
Pemba meba, then Pemba meba nibare, Pemba meba, chedo, gonis, mechi, yeme chochi da yet, yes, me biga chene, yeme choyares, that's on death, Ling at Dunga, that share. Look at Dunga, Kanga in that Dunga in that, call Legger. Cochita did them data, there's about Dua. Tan this Chita down on the Moon, Melzena, Lil Dunga, Legger, Alamal, Lil Dunga teaches at some Mobos in Dua. Robas on Kegadu, Man, Won't, Rodan, Named. Is that? Tanroyan, Takaim, and so the tissue Tanroy says, Monojiga Tenisia, Marachita. Ida son tetuara, so Dungana Chile, Dungana, call Chita Yedum, Such Yagares, Magan, Dead, Kakaiper, Chinta Yena, Chita the Chejan, Maga Shekura Mares, Chinta Mena, Maga Shaba Chip, Kakai Mares. Mabete, Tanyabachi arrest at Sundata, the Yachi Shah, Tibu the Lega, Kangan, the Apple Sharan, and the Sendo, Kangan the President, I would see the Yachi would chill the word. Don't under Ribaji Lagayara. Kanga and that Duma, Kanga Santa Card, they say, Mother Kangan won't Degmadua. Dunga Lega, Dunga Santa Card, they said, Dunga or the band Degmadua. Lo sugar madua. Lo ma sugar madua, lo ya setting da. You know, Dungan da Santa Yasan did Mudinachi. Kanga Santa did the Mudu said, Kangi whole month of Madua. Then they lodge again and I don't go to Atia.
So these sections, rejecting the idea that when suffering occurs, it is absolutely unpleasant. So, of course, this talks about the importance of overcoming this whole view, whole thought that the finding sufferings or sudden the hardship is always very negative. It's always very harmful, and so because if you hold that, then whenever when we face that, when we confront such any hardship, then we would hate it. We begin to hate, even mentally begin to hate, and so therefore we can see as a result. So therefore it gives way to generate anger and hatred within ourselves. So now, just to continue here, it says if you can remedy a situation so wherein suffering occurs, so you do not need to feel that it is unpleasant. So if you cannot remedy it, so it is not helpful to find it unpleasant. So there is no need for or effectiveness to your displeasures. So there is even a disadvantage. So this particular advice is quite very well known to a lot of people, and many of people find this is very useful, because it gives some sort of kind of different perspectives of looking at one's situations, and through this to help one to change, to change one's way, one's perspective of the of the hardship or the adverse situation, from something very negative to something positive. And so, what is saying here is the advice here is that we need to, whenever we face or confront certain difficulties, so whether it's related to our physical health or any emotional health, so we need to think about, we should be directing our mind to thinking whether what is the remedies, how is there any way that to overcoming that difficulty or the hardships. And for example, if it's a health, physical health issue that you face, then you have to ask what you can do to you should be focusing on that, how you're going to treat the illness that you have. So of course, fortunately, these days, at least, when we come to the physical health, so there are a lot of we have very good resources, in terms of there's a good hospital there are good doctors, and even you could get help from the friends, and of course the hospital, there's a very good professional nurses there, and all these facilities are there, so which is really fortunate. Of course, this is something, when what we as human society, what we enjoy, but this is not something. The animals, they do not have all the same facilities to support their health. So in this way, what is saying here is, when you consider all this, what you can do to overcome these problems, and therefore considering all that, and then you see the possibilities that there is a way to overcome it, to remedy it. Then what the text says here, when you see that remedy, then and this help one to overcome this the unhappiness, and it gives you more kind of inspiration, more hope, in a sense, and so therefore this is very when we think of this this advice, is a very, not only very educating, but it's very enlightening, because it make, when we think on this link, give us make us feel on top of the sufferings. Otherwise, when we don't have this kind of perspective, sometimes the sufferings or the hardship of the life can completely the control us, and so therefore, and then we would even lose our hope and become very despair, and so therefore, however, when we think on this, so it gives more hope, it gives more optimistic about the view, and which help one to therefore in this way it help one to reduce the unnecessary the worryings about the problems.
Jerechin, Dumacha, the Tomo, the God, Jerechin, China, the China, the Dumachi, Chimbo, maybe Saturday, Gate, Geshe, and that is it, Mandan.
So just to continue the reading, okay. So if you are very important. If you are very impatient, a slight suffering is extremely difficult to bear. Whereas if you minimize your impatience, so you can endure great sufferings. Yes. And continue with the quote from the engaging in the Bodhisattva's deed says, if there is a remedy, so why be displeased? If there is no remedy, what is the use of being displeased? And also, I shall not be impatient with heat, cold, wind and rain, illness, bondage, beatings and so on. If I am, the harm increases. So then to continue the second heading, showing that it is appropriate to accept sufferings. So which has has three parts. So reflecting on the good qualities of sufferings, reflecting on the advantages of bearing sufferings, hardships, how it is not difficult to bear suffering if you gradually grow accustomed to it, starting with the small.
That's all. Dunga Zella caught Chande, Taba Tene, Lol Pakana, Tunga Ching or Jet Tehako,
So reflecting on the good qualities of sufferings. So suffering has 5 good qualities. The good qualities of spurring you onto liberations. So this is because if you had no sufferings, you would not develop the determination to be free of it. So this the first the qualities, the excellent qualities of or the positive qualities of sufferings. So which is that it helps one to to arise this sense of what we call as a sense of renunciations. Now, the renunciations is refers to a genuine a wish, your desire to be to leave the cyclic existence or the suffering of this worldly existence. So now, in order to, so therefore it is that wish. So therefore, what it is saying here is that the such to cultivating or generating such as desire or wish to live or to free, to get out of sufferings, get out of problems. So it occurs, it happens, it arises when there is when one experiences sufferings. So it is. So therefore, what we understand here is it is when we when we experience certain like a unwanted situation, like a sufferings, then in that moment, then we would have a thought, or a desire to be to get rid of, to get out of that, or to out of that situation, or or to see the end of these sufferings. So therefore, as it said here, this the sufferings has this the qualities or positive qualities of serving a cause to for us to cultivate the renunciations. And then second, the good quality of dispelling arrogance. So this is because when suffering strikes you, it reduces your sense of superiorities. So again, this is also very true, that how, even though there may be someone who is normally can be very arrogant in a person, but however, when the same persons face a great hardship, face great difficulty of life, then the person
no yes.
Even they like physically, they will look down.
Never them na jelly do give is just debal and zembi yet. Dunga Jelata, Debach Mundu, so. Dunga, called Jimmy Mari, Debal, that Debach Mundu, Debach Zeba New War. Sheba got up a new war, so thank you, no, I can't do other. Dunga, Duna, they are dead. Dunga, that they are one without their, so playing with her. There be, there gena, Jagawach, the gippies, Gawadabalach, Guy eaters. That Dunga, Dunga Trabe Neger, some other Dia, so son as the Legger, Dia the Jagga, that Gad the Jug Tajere, so the Gala Gay, yet she leg to us.
And then the third, the good quality of causing you to shun sin. So this is because when you experience very painful feelings, so they arise from non-virtues. So if you do not want this effect, so you must avoid their causes. So as it's said here, so this the how when we experience as sufferings or any like a hardship, then we would we would have we wish we would have a strong desire or the wish to be to be free of that, to be away from that, and so therefore it is to it gives us opportunities under that kind of as we do not want the hardship or the suffering that we experience, we face, as we do not want that, so therefore we will consider to the causes for the sufferings, and then to as we do not want that, so these situations, so therefore motivate us to avoid the cause of suffering, which is the a sinful or a negative actions. So that is all really the very important part of the practice of karma, and also of the learning of the law of karmas, and then this is continue here. The good quality of causing you to like cultivating virtues. So this is because when you are tormented with suffering, so you desire happiness, and once you want it, you must cultivate the virtue that causes. So how more than usual, how when we situation when we face certain suffering, certain difficulties, then our desire for happiness and for a better life even arises more stronger, and so therefore again it is saying that the suffering, the experience or confronting this such a suffering situation also is can also has a potential for one to give an opportunity to be motivated to create to virtues, to accumulate virtues, because to understanding that recognizing that as the as a cause of the of joy and happiness that which one desperately seek or desire for in that situation. So there is the delightful thought to perceive, to create virtue arises in that situations. No.
Gala Gaye, ya Debala Gaye, the Tana, Ronginyola Pane, Saint the time, Yongalo, Yon Kwana, Choa, no light, Nijeshawo, he did. Ron Yongana, Saint Yen, Yongana, Yonita, Della Mazepita, Nijele. Rotate Yongasan in Angel. Yet this is something that you jealous. That's some tea, Chinese, the Rungi and Jones, yet Jet, Shiba Shilla, Dungan and Debbie, Nasso, Yona, Josa, Jote, Lada, Dungan, Mandeva, Debbie Nest, Standard. Tripa, just on Tonada, doing a check and David Ness, Rest, Loyon, Salamaton, 내서 녀도 로용용 요대 되냐. 중앙 매방에 메다 되는 말이야. 중앙 매방에 제 마샤세데. 예의 중에 예전에 저기 전바 세바 좀 코안에 이제세 딜란제 갈라고 갈라고 갈라가스 다 신지도 말이야.
So and then continue the fifth, the good quality of producing compassion for those who wander in cyclic existence. So this is because after you have assessed your own situations, so you think other beings suffer like this. So from these five and what they indicate, so recognize other good qualities on your own and then repeatedly train your mind to think. The suffering is a condition that I want. Then the engaging in the Bodhisattva's deeds says, since without suffering there is no determination to free your mind, and stay fixed. And also, furthermore, the good qualities of suffering are that you dispel arrogance with disenchantment, develop compassion for the beings of cyclic existence, carefully avoid sin and delight in virtues. So, so in this fifth, the qualities of sufferings, of experienced suffering. So it helps us to be more more compassionate towards the other suffering beings. So this, what does it mean? Is as we know how it is under the situation, it is when one actually undergoes certain sufferings. So when you have some kind of experience of certain how it is like to go through certain hardships, certain sufferings, then then you would have a better understanding of the other people, other beings who are also going through this same suffering or the hardships. So therefore, it is as it is saying, it is said that how just as how the contemplating on the or thinking on the suffering on the sufferings with which relating to one's own self, to one's own life, so that the help can arouse a sense of renunciations, which is a desire or a wish to be free from sufferings. So likewise, so when we think, do the same contemplation, same thinking with respect to the suffering that other being undergo, then it says that we will be able to through that, then we will be able to arouse the compassions towards other beings.
That's something. That's the reason I do the doing it. Some Dunga Tola, the Abu Mandem, mind David, Dunga Tola, Abu Jilay. That Dunga Tola, that you didn't know where you are. Yet that's standing in your Latin. Dunga Yuna, then you're that's you didn't mania by you. You didn't mania by it, you couldn't use your money. Ye dunga le yel mudiaje te je ten kuno de le ngure ya keso ngade she sain ba ita da son no te do dunga me ba ngen ju me se te se je ten ba ne je dunga ye ten de ba sho yi ten ba se wa yi ko ba na ni je de gan je je ga la go sta shin ji da ni ba tin ma ta ba sin ji ma ro men.
So as it's said here, that this particular word, which the great Tsongkhapa states here, that the indicate recognize other good qualities from these five and what they indicate, so recognize other good qualities on your own. So this relating to the good qualities of the sufferings or the hardship, and then repeatedly train your mind to think the suffering is a condition that I want. So through that, to generate this thought, some kind of positive thought about the suffering and the hardships, and then these. So in essence, so we already discussed in the previous teachings that how it is this practice of the patience of the acceptance of sufferings, how it is important, so without that, then we let alone, we can find peace in ourselves, but also without that, then we won't be able to prevent any like anger or hatred to arise towards other beings, because towards the other being for the harm that we receive from others, and so therefore the lack of the patience of this acceptance, then we would find, we will experience unhappiness, and then and as a result from that, caused by our experience of unhappiness, then we will feel ill thought, towards others. So the whole the point is to be able to maintain a very a happy and a joyful state of mind within us, and this we do through by the applying this or integrating this the patience of the acceptance of sufferings. So we bring the tea, please.